Alright, this is gonna be like an advanced video, advanced sampling or advanced how to start your beat off, kind of come up with ideas for songs and things like that. This is not a close to finished beat at all. This is something that's just now starting off, and I'm just trying to come up with the idea for what samples I'm going to use and things like that. So nothing is even final right now, but it's actual advanced because it's going to be kind of out there, you know what I mean? And this might be something that you can kind of aspire to, because most studios out there aren't going to be able to do this right off the bat, and that's even professional studios. All right, so to explain what's going on a little bit, let me stop Traktor. I have FL Studio as the main host, right? And I could be rewiring Reason and Ableton 8 directly out of here and still be doing everything that I'm about to show you with Ableton 9 and Traktor. But what's going on is FL Studio is sending the MIDI tempo out to my MPC 1000. My MPC 1000 is sending that tempo to Traktor Pro over here, so you can see it's slaved in the 92 BPM, and it's also controlling Ableton 9 over here in standalone mode. And what's going on is Traktor is sending sound to Ableton 9, and Ableton 9 can do its effects and things on it, and then send that back to FL Studio, where it's coming in on this channel 5 right here called Audio In. All right, and how it's doing that is Traktor is sending out through my M Audio interface. Traktor is running on the shared M Audio. If I can popped up on the other screen. I normally have Traktor on other screens and stuff, but it still works on the normal, but it should be on shared mobile pre like this, and that allows for this and Ableton to use the same audio interface cleanly, right? And it's sending there in a strange way. It goes from Traktor out of the M Audio interface into channels 15 and 16 on my main mixer, okay? And from channels 15 and 16, I'm sending it out through subgroup 3.4. All right, and subgroup 3.4 comes into, here we go, my other Behringer mixer on channels 1, 2, and channels 1, 2 send out the mains. The mains are going back to the M Audio interface that Ableton 9 is over here listening in on. So, for example, you can see when I play the sound, the levels in Ableton start going up and down again. All right, and why do all that crazy routing through the analog mixers? For one, you get that analog off on it. You have analog EQs. You have some effects right here and things like that. I can throw outboard to my KP3 where I could, you know, put other effects on it. I have guitar pedals hooked up to my AUX out, so it's like effect sends. My AUX channels on my boards are. All right, these AUX knobs, you know, sending my KP3 and my different effects, guitar pedals, things like that. But more so than that, by having that M Audio loop, almost you could say, right here, I have Traktor on live input mode, listening in from that. So when I crank the gain on here, you hear it? It's that feedback, and you can't get that any other way. There's no effect in any DAW you can pull up that'll give you that effect. And it's not just that effect, because once you start changing the EQ and putting different effects on it, it's a completely different little sound that's gonna come in. You feel me? And also that's how Ableton 9 is set up over here on the left. This is my control channel, so my main channel, you would say. And if I crank the gain on one of the limiters, you can have Ableton do something like that. But then once you start playing with the EQs and things like that, you can make it whatever sound you want to make it, you know. And I have a really low ceiling right now because I don't want to do anything too crazy. But yeah, and how Ableton is set up is the audio is coming in, you see on audio in, and that's sending to these send channels. And these send channels are return channels, whatever you want to call them. They have their own effects on them and things like that. And they're not sending out to the master. They're sending, all dumping back to the control. So you have control over your feedback. And it's like a digital summing matrix almost. Because you're splitting your sound out, putting all different effects on it, and then summing it back together with your control channel. And you know, that's all kind of good and dandy, but the main thing is having Traktor linked up to FL Studio and able to put beat grids and get the tempo how you want it, and then quickly being able to and now I'm just clicking around because I don't want to go and be doing too much off screen that you can't see. But you can use your QWERTY keyboard as a controller for Traktor. But I actually have an iPad and I can set that up to be a controller for Traktor and things like that. And this is just, it's insanely better than any other sampling techniques that I've ever seen anybody try to do. You know what I mean? It's just way too easy. To quickly just get new things in and make it run. You know, right now I should have upped my buffer length in FL Studio since I'm recording like 2 HD monitors right now and trying to do all this stuff at the same time. But if you can't tell already, it's absolutely ridiculously insane with the power and things like that. And you know, with a lot of your samples, you're gonna have to fix your beat grids and actually get it how you want it and things like that. But after you do it, it's perfect, you know what I mean? And the sky is the limit after that, man. You know what I mean? So that's my video. Try to keep it short. There's no other way to get the sounds without the feedback. It wouldn't be the same without the analog mixers. Whatever analog mixers you do have, it's going to add its own character and tone. Whatever kind of guitar pedals and effects you have is going to add their own tone. And just the digital environments themselves and the type of effects Traktor has, it's really some stuff in here that no other DAW has. And you know, I've got Pro Tools, Ableton, Reason, FL Studio, I've used Sonar. Man, I've used most of them, just put it like that. And there's no effects like Traktor, and the tempo syncing of your samples is insane, man. So that's basically the video. I'm gonna just recap one last time how my setup is, in case I messed it up the first time or whatever. Here is the setup again. FL Studio, the main host, sending sound, or not sending sound out, but sending tempo out to my MPC 1000. MPC 1000 is sending that tempo to Traktor and Ableton 9, listening in for that MIDI device, and then Traktor is sending its sound to Ableton Live, and then Ableton Live is sending the sound to FL Studio. Okay, so Traktor is sending to my Behringer mixer on channel 1516 out through bus 3 and 4, which comes over to my other mixer on channel 1 and 2, going out the mains, and those mains lead to my M audio interface, which is kind of that circle. And at the same time, when the M audio is coming back through channel 1516, remember it's going out of 3-4, it's also going out of sends 1-2 now, which is sending to my Pro Tools inbox, which FL Studio is listening in for audio on that. And then my screen capture program is probably making it sound a lot terrible than it actually is in real life. My screen capture program is just listening in from the actual USB interface built in to the Xenix USB mixer, and that is like hardwired to the main out. All right, so that's it, man. And once you start working this way, and once you have multiple monitors, you're not gonna go back to doing it any other way, you know. And my final is that once the audio is into FL Studio over here, and you actually record in what you wanted to record in from Traktor, that file you then can dump back into Ableton just on an audio channel, and then you start using the time stretching and time stretching modes of Ableton, because those just sound sick. All right, but the video's getting long, so I'm not gonna do that. You can see videos on the Ableton time stretching and all that. But yeah, this is advanced techniques in 2013. So all them other videos, phooey, you know what I mean? But the old techniques, you still probably should know how to count off bars, so when you take a sample out, it'll loop properly without skipping and things like that. So the old stuff still applies, but the new stuff helps you do it 1,000 times faster and 1,000 times more powerful. Trust me. All right. All right. And my quick finishing point is just, I'm gonna play with this one little sample and feedback only, so you can kind of get a gist of the effects, feedback without the mic on. All right. Yeah, and that's just feedback. That is not a synthesizer. That's just me playing with a knob on the EQ. You know, and that's not all my analog stuff, and you know, it's not all the effects. I can't go through everything right now, but you definitely should see the power. All right.